Not all meat is created equal, and not all grocery stores are honest about that. Today, we are showing you 7 stores you should be buying your meat from right now, and 7 stores where experienced butchers, nutrition researchers, and longtime meat industry insiders say you should think very carefully before you reach into that display case. We are starting at the bottom with the worst, then pivoting to the best. And the store sitting at the very top of the best list is one that will genuinely surprise most people watching this. The store at worst number 7 is one that most Americans shop at weekly without a second thought. Worst 7. Walmart sells more groceries than any other retailer in America. Volume at that scale creates a specific set of problems in the meat department that smaller operations simply do not face. The result that customers encounter most consistently is meat that has been treated with carbon monoxide to maintain its red color long past the point where the natural color would have faded. Carbon monoxide flushing is legal and widely used, but it masks the visual cue that consumers have relied on for generations to assess freshness. Meat that should look brownish, indicating age, stays bright red under carbon monoxide treatment, giving a false freshness signal to shoppers who do not know to look past the color. Consumer Reports and meat industry analysts have also flagged Walmart's enhanced meat products, items labeled up to 15% solution added, as being among the most prevalent in any major chain. That solution is a mixture of water, sodium, and phosphates injected into the meat to add weight and improve moisture retention. You are paying meat prices for saltwater by weight. For seniors managing sodium intake, which is the majority of adults over 65 with any cardiovascular concern, enhanced meat products purchased without awareness are delivering sodium loads that can meaningfully affect blood pressure management without the consumer having any idea. Check every label. If it says solution added or lists sodium phosphate in the ingredients, put it back. The store at worst number 6 has a reputation that most people would not associate with meat quality problems. That reputation is exactly why the reality is so surprising and so important to understand. Worst 6. Kroger is America's largest traditional supermarket chain. It has a long-standing reputation for quality, a robust store brand program, and a loyalty following that spans generations. Which is precisely why what happens in many of its meat departments deserves a frank conversation. Kroger's meat quality varies dramatically by location, and that inconsistency is itself the problem. A Kroger in an affluent suburban area may maintain a genuinely excellent meat counter with trained staff and high turnover. A Kroger in a lower traffic location may operate a meat department where product sits significantly longer, markdown timing is inconsistent, and the case management that keeps meat at peak quality is less rigorously enforced. Kroger's store brand meat, sold under the Simple Truth and Kroger labels, also shows wide quality variance depending on the supplier contracts in place for a given region. Simple Truth carries an organic certification that commands premium pricing, but organic certification speaks to how an animal was raised, not to the freshness or handling quality of the specific package in front of you. The lesson with Kroger is not to avoid it entirely. It is to know your specific location's meat department, identify whether it is a high-turnover, well-managed counter or a lower-performing one, and shop accordingly. The brand name alone is not a quality guarantee. Suiosa, hold on. If this is already making you rethink where you have been buying your meat, hit that like button right now and subscribe, because worst number 5 has been spending serious money marketing its meat quality, and what that marketing is actually covering up will genuinely shock you. Worst 5. Safeway. Safeway has invested heavily in marketing language around its meat program. Terms like rancher-inspired, hand-selected, and premium quality appear prominently in its meat department signage and promotional materials. What those terms mean in practice is considerably less defined than they sound. The central issue with Safeway's meat in 2026 is its heavy reliance on case-ready meat, product that is processed, packaged, and sealed at a centralized facility and shipped to stores ready for the display case without any in-store butchering. Case-ready meat is not inherently inferior, but it removes the layer of freshness control that an active in-store butcher provides, and it means that the product has been sealed in modified atmosphere packaging for potentially several days before it ever reaches the shelf. Consumer feedback across multiple review platforms consistently identifies Safeway meat as delivering underwhelming eating quality relative to its price point. Tenderness, flavor, and moisture retention are the most commonly cited disappointments, all of which are directly connected to the processing and packaging timeline. The markdown rack at Safeway can occasionally represent genuine value, since the underlying product is acceptable when fresh. But at full price, the marketing-to-quality ratio at Safeway's meat counter is one of the worst in conventional grocery retail. Worst number 4 operates on a membership model that makes most shoppers assume everything inside is premium. The meat department tells a more complicated story. Worst 4. Sam's Club. Sam's Club carries a warehouse shopping model that creates genuine value in many product categories. Meat is where that model introduces specific complications that most members have never fully thought through. The per-pound price at Sam's Club looks compelling at first glance. What that price calculation ignores is the trimming loss on many bulk packages, the portions that need to be discarded due to quality degradation, and the freezer burn that develops on bulk packages improperly frozen at home. The effective cost per usable pound frequently climbs past the sticker price once those factors are accounted for. Sam's Club meat also skews heavily toward select grade beef, the lowest of the 3 USDA quality grades available at retail, with choice and prime grades represented inconsistently depending on location and timing. Select grade beef has less marbling, which means less flavor and less moisture during cooking. It is not bad meat, but it is being presented in a warehouse context that implicitly suggests premium value, and the grade designation does not support that implication. For seniors cooking for 1 or 2 people, bulk meat purchases that require immediate freezing and careful portioning create more logistical complexity than the pricing advantage justifies. What is coming at worst number 3 is a chain that has been expanding rapidly across America and positioning itself as a fresh food destination. Its meat department has not kept pace with its ambitions. Worst 3, Whole Foods. This entry will generate pushback. Whole Foods has cultivated one of the strongest quality reputations in American grocery retail, and its meat department's marketing, with its detailed sourcing standards, animal welfare ratings, and pasture-raised certifications, is among the most sophisticated in the industry. The problem is the price-to-quality reality for everyday shoppers in 2026. Whole Foods charges prices for its meat that can run 2 to 4 times what comparable or superior product costs at better-ranked stores on this list. Those prices are justified in the marketing narrative by welfare certifications, sourcing transparency, and antibiotic-free claims. What they frequently are not justified by is the eating quality of the product itself. Multiple independent taste tests and consumer panels conducted between 2024 and 2026 have found that Whole Foods meat at its price point does not consistently outperform significantly less expensive alternatives in flavor, tenderness, or moisture. The welfare certifications are real and matter from an ethical standpoint, but they are not a guarantee of superior eating quality, and for seniors on fixed incomes paying premium prices on the assumption of premium results, the gap between expectation and plate experience is a consistent source of disappointment. Whole Foods is not a bad store. It is a store where the marketing has significantly outpaced the value delivered specifically in the meat department relative to what that price should buy. Worst number 2 is a chain that most shoppers associate with convenience rather than quality. What is actually happening with its meat is worth understanding in specific detail. Worst 2. Albertsons. Albertsons operates under multiple regional banner names across the United States, including Vons, Jewel-Osco, Shaw's, and Acme, which means its meat department practices affect a far larger number of shoppers than the Albertsons name alone would suggest. The chain's meat program has been the subject of recurring consumer complaints and regulatory attention related to dating practices, enhanced product labeling clarity, and the handling of markdowns in ways that do not adequately communicate the age of the product to the customer. Enhanced products, those injected with sodium solutions, represent a disproportionately high share of the fresh meat case at many Albertsons banner stores compared to competitors at similar price points. The pricing, meanwhile, sits at mid to premium conventional grocery store levels, creating the same uncomfortable gap between cost and delivered quality that characterizes several other entries on this list. For seniors especially, who often rely on the visual presentation and packaging of meat as quality signals, Albertsons' meat department is one where those signals are least reliable as actual indicators of what you are buying. The store, at worst number 1, has the single most problematic meat department practices of any major chain operating in America right now. The issues are documented, widespread, and directly relevant to anyone who shops there regularly. Worst 1. Dollar. General and similar. Deep discount chains. The expansion of Dollar General and comparable deep discount retailers into fresh and refrigerated meat is one of the most concerning developments in American grocery retail of the past 5 years. Dollar General added refrigerated meat to thousands of locations as part of its DG Fresh initiative, positioning itself as a convenient grocery option for communities with limited food access. The intention may have been genuine. The execution in the meat department reveals problems that are difficult to overstate. The cold chain management at Dollar General stores is inconsistent in ways that go beyond quality into food safety territory. These are not stores designed around fresh food operations. The refrigeration infrastructure, staff training for fresh meat handling, turnover rates necessary to keep meat fresh, and the systematic monitoring required to maintain safe temperatures are all secondary to the core dollar store retail model. Inspections and consumer reports have documented temperature compliance issues, dating irregularities, and product condition problems at a rate that significantly exceeds conventional grocery competitors. For seniors, whose immune systems are less equipped to manage foodborne illness, and for whom a serious gastrointestinal event can carry genuinely dangerous health consequences, buying fresh meat from Dollar General is a risk that no price advantage justifies. The meat at worst, number 1, is simply a category of purchase to avoid entirely, regardless of convenience, price, or proximity to home. There are better options available, and the best of them are coming right now. Now, the stores worth your trust and your grocery budget. These are the 7 best places to buy meat in 2026, ranked from impressive to genuinely outstanding. And the store at number 1 is not who most people would guess. But let's start with number 7. Best 7. H-E-B operates primarily in Texas and has built a meat department reputation that food journalists, culinary professionals, and everyday shoppers consistently rank among the best in American grocery retail. The foundation is in-store butchering. H-E-B maintains working butcher operations in most of its full-size locations, meaning meat is cut, trimmed, and packaged on-site rather than arriving case-ready from a distant processing facility. That practice preserves freshness, allows for custom cuts, and keeps an expert on the floor who can answer questions about specific products, preparation methods, and quality characteristics. H-E-B's beef program spans USDA Select through prime grades with clear, honest labeling that makes grade comparisons straightforward for shoppers. Its store-brand beef line sources from specific regional suppliers and carries sourcing transparency that most national chains do not offer at comparable price points. The Texas-focused regional sourcing also means shorter supply chain distances for many products, which translates directly into fresher product on the shelf. H-E-B's beef, pork, and poultry sections consistently draw praise for eating quality that exceeds what the price point would suggest from a national chain. For shoppers in Texas and northern Mexico, where H-E-B operates, its meat department is a resource that deserves to be used to its full potential, including the butcher counter where custom requests are handled with genuine expertise. Best number 6 is a warehouse retailer that solves the volume versus freshness problem in a way that its competitor on the worst list never managed to crack. Best 6. Costco. Costco's meat department operates on the same bulk model as Sam's Club, but executes it in ways that produce consistently superior results, and the differences are specific enough to explain exactly why. Costco carries USDA choice and prime beef as its standard offering, with Prime available at prices that significantly undercut what specialty butchers and upscale supermarkets charge for the same grade. The chain's beef is not enhanced with sodium solutions, a deliberate policy that Costco has maintained consistently, and that makes it one of the few large-volume retailers where you can buy beef with confidence that the weight on the label reflects actual meat rather than injected solution. Costco's meat turnover rate is among the highest of any retailer in the country due to its membership volume, which means product spends less time in the case before purchase than at virtually any competitor. Freshness on Costco meat consistently scores higher in independent evaluations than same-grade product from traditional supermarket chains. The Kirkland Signature Beef program, particularly its prime ribeyes, strip steaks, and tenderloins, has developed a genuine reputation among serious home cooks as delivering steakhouse-adjacent quality at grocery store pricing. That reputation is earned. The bulk packaging caveat remains relevant for seniors cooking for small households. But Costco's meat freezes exceptionally well precisely because it has not been enhanced with solutions that affect texture after freezing. Portion, wrap properly, and freeze with confidence. Best Number 5 has been transforming its meat department over the past 3 years in ways that most customers have not yet noticed. The transformation is worth your attention. Best 5. Sprouts Farmers. Market Sprouts has positioned itself as a natural and organic grocery option, but its meat department in 2026 has evolved beyond marketing positioning into a genuinely substantive program that delivers real value for health-conscious shoppers. The core of Sprouts' meat advantage is its no antibiotic ever and no added hormone standards across its entire fresh meat case. These are not selective certifications applied to premium product lines at premium prices. They are baseline standards that apply to everything Sprouts sells as fresh meat, meaning the standard ground beef and chicken breast carry the same fundamental production standards as the premium selections. Sprouts also maintains active butcher operations in most locations, with staff trained to handle custom requests and knowledgeable enough to guide shoppers through sourcing questions. The transparency around where specific products come from is meaningfully better than conventional grocery competitors. Pricing at Sprouts runs above conventional grocery stores, but significantly below Whole Foods for comparable certifications and sourcing standards, which positions it well in the quality-to-value analysis that matters most for budget-conscious shoppers who are unwilling to compromise on production standards. For seniors managing chronic conditions where antibiotic resistance is a genuine health concern, and where hormone exposure from food sources is a consideration, Sprouts' baseline standards remove those variables from the equation without requiring a premium tier budget. Best Number 4 is a regional chain that has maintained butchering standards that most of the industry abandoned decades ago, and the difference shows up unmistakably on the plate. Best 4, Wegmans. Wegmans operates across the northeastern United States and has built a meat department that industry professionals consistently cite as the standard that large-format grocery stores should be measured against. The commitment that separates Wegmans from virtually every competitor its size is its investment in trained butcher staff. Wegmans employs certified butchers in its full-service meat counters who have gone through formal training programs, not just store-level orientation. These are people who understand primal cuts, aging, marbling evaluation, and preparation in ways that allow them to genuinely serve the customer rather than simply retrieve pre-packaged product from a case. Wegmans' beef program includes in-house dry-aged options that are genuinely rare to find at supermarket scale. Dry aging concentrates flavor and improves tenderness through controlled moisture loss, a process that requires dedicated space, careful temperature management, and patience that most high-volume retailers are unwilling to invest in. Finding legitimate dry-aged beef at supermarket prices is one of the best value propositions in the meat world, and Wegmans delivers it consistently. The chain's sourcing transparency, its willingness to name specific farms and producers for premium lines, and its consistent grading accuracy gives shoppers a level of information that most competitors withhold entirely. For seniors who take cooking seriously and want the information and expertise to make genuinely good purchasing decisions, Wegmans Meat Counter is one of the most valuable resources in American grocery retail. Best number 3 is a store that most seniors already visit regularly, but whose meat department most of them significantly underutilize. What it offers at its best is extraordinary value hiding in plain sight. Best 3. Aldi's inclusion on the best list will surprise shoppers who have never looked closely at its meat department. It should not. Aldi's fresh meat program operates on the same fundamental principle as everything else in the store. Eliminate the overhead, cut out the middlemen, source directly, and pass the savings to the customer. In the meat department, that philosophy produces results that consistently outperform what the price point suggests. Aldi does not sell enhanced meat products with added sodium solutions as a standard practice across its fresh case. The beef, pork, and chicken in Aldi's refrigerated section are what they appear to be, without the weight inflation and the sodium loading that characterizes much of what competitors sell at higher prices. The Never Any brand that Aldi stocks for poultry specifically carries no antibiotics ever, no added hormones, and no animal byproducts in the feed, standards that at Whole Foods or Sprouts would command prices 2 to 3 times higher than what Aldi charges. Turnover in Aldi's meat section tends to be high relative to the store's size, which supports freshness. And the markdown schedule that employees follow for approaching sell-by dates, as discussed in our Employee Insights coverage, means that shoppers who understand the timing can access genuinely excellent product at dramatically reduced prices. Aldi is not a specialty butcher. It does not offer custom cuts or aged beef. But for everyday fresh meat purchases, its quality-to-price ratio is one of the best available at any grocery chain in 2026. Best number 2 has been doing one thing in its meat department for over a century that most modern grocery chains have completely abandoned. That one thing is the entire reason its mace is better. Best 2. Trader Joe's approaches its meat program with the same philosophy it applies across the store. Find the best product at a given quality level, source it directly from the producer, remove every layer of middleman markup, and sell it at a price that makes quality accessible rather than exclusive. The results in the meat department are consistently impressive. Trader Joe's carries no meat products treated with carbon monoxide for color preservation. It does not sell enhanced products with added sodium solutions in its standard fresh meat case. Its chicken is sourced without antibiotics. Its beef is clearly graded and honestly labeled. And its specialty meat options, including grass-fed beef, heritage breed pork, and sustainably raised seafood, are priced at levels that make routine purchase realistic for budget-conscious shoppers. What makes Trader Joe's particularly valuable for seniors is the portion sizing across its meat program. While Costco and Sam's Club default to bulk, Trader Joe's regularly stocks smaller package sizes specifically suited to 1- and 2-person households. Single chicken breasts, half-pound ground beef portions, individually portioned fish fillets. This sizing reduces waste, reduces freezer management complexity, and makes cooking fresh meat for a small household consistently practical rather than occasionally logistically frustrating. The staff knowledge in Trader Joe's meat section also tends to be genuinely useful. Crew members are trained on the products they sell, including sourcing and preparation, in a way that makes asking questions worthwhile. And now, the store that tops the best list. It is not a national chain. It is not a warehouse club. It is not a store that spends heavily on marketing its meat program. But the people who know meat best, the butchers, the chefs, the food scientists, and the longtime industry insiders point to it consistently as the single best place most Americans can buy meat in 2026. Best one, a local or regional independent butcher shop. Every ranking of grocery store meat quality that is written by someone who genuinely understands, the meat industry, arrives at the same conclusion. The best meat available to most American consumers is not at any national chain. It is at the independent butcher shop or regional meat market that has been operating in their community, often for decades, and that most people drive past on their way to a grocery store without ever stopping. The reasons are not sentimental. They are structural. Independent butcher shops source differently. They purchase from local and regional farms and processors with whom they have direct relationships, which means they know exactly where their product comes from, how the animals were raised, and how long the product has been in transit. That knowledge translates directly into freshness and quality that no centralized distribution system can replicate. They cut differently. In-house butchering means that every piece of meat in the case was cut that day or the day before by a skilled professional who cares about the quality of their work because their livelihood depends on repeat customers who can taste the difference. There is no modified atmosphere packaging extending shelf life. No carbon monoxide preserving color, no sodium solution adding weight. Just meat, cut and sold. They advise differently. Walking into an independent butcher and describing what you want to cook, who you are cooking for, what your budget is, and asking what they recommend is one of the most underutilized resources available to any home cook. A good butcher will steer you toward the best value cut for your specific purpose, tell you exactly how to prepare it, and send you home with product that will perform better than anything in any grocery store case. For seniors especially, who may be cooking for 1 or 2 people, who benefit from custom portion sizes that reduce waste, who value the nutritional advantages of meat from animals raised on pasture without routine antibiotics, and who are capable of recognizing the difference between genuinely good meat and industrially processed product, the independent butcher represents not just the best quality, but often the best overall value. Once waste, sodium content, and eating quality are all factored into the price calculation, find the independent butcher or meat market in your area. Visit once, ask questions, tell them what you need. The experience will reframe every meat purchase you have made at a grocery chain and make you wonder why you waited so long to walk through that door. If this changed how you are thinking about your next meat purchase, hit that like button right now and subscribe. Every week, we break down the grocery decisions that matter most for seniors, from where to shop to what to buy to how to make every dollar stretch further without compromising on the quality your health deserves. The next video is already on screen. Click on it right now on the left. You will not want to miss it.